Hey guys, I'm currently driving after work. I just have a few thoughts. When I get home from my little psychologist job, I like to rant a little bit, right? I want to talk about right now, because it's weighing on my mind right now, right? I just went down the rabbit hole of the Kris Tyson stuff. And this is something that I've been thinking about for a long time. There is a correlation between people who enjoy Shoda, what is it called for when it's little girls? Shoda, not Yuri. That's Leslie stuff. It's good stuff. What is the show? I forget what it's called for little girls. Loli, whatever. Loli and Shoda material. People who consume and watch that material, and people who act like weirdos. I'm so sorry. I do not care. Say whatever you want. And I'm not talking about the people who like to, wear a little Hello Kitty shirt every now and then and dress in a way that some people would consider quote, quote, kid-like. I'm not talking about that. That's deep and layered. We can have another conversation about that. But I just find it very on brand that this Kris Tyson person has a history of buying and enjoying CSAM art, right? Like, that's not a coincidence. CSA art, like, that's not a coincidence that person enjoyed that sort of material and behaved in certain ways with fans, with underage 13-year-old fans. That's not a coincidence. Kris Tyson was in college, texting a 13-year-old daddy and all this other shit, like, really out here giving the LGBTQ community a bad name. Because at the end of the day, optics are very important. So we had something amazing happen, right? Like, for the trans community, Mr. Beast, the biggest YouTuber on the planet, after Sunny V2 dropped his little video, Mr. Beast was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck what you guys think about Kris Tyson. I don't care. That's my girl. That's my buddy since whatever. And, because Sunny V2 said that Ava was going to fuck up Mr. Beast's image and his channel and all that shit, which came to pass, but for different reasons, right? Like, you cannot sit here and convince me that it's a coincidence that this person enjoyed CSAM and also engaged in odd behaviors with minors. I'm sorry, it's not a coincidence. It's not. And it just reminds me of, I believe, and now correct me if I'm wrong, guys, like really, really, really do, because I'm sorry that I'm saying this if it's not 100% correct, but I believe the artist of Berserk, the author, artist, whatever, was an enjoyer of Loli, and he loved Lolis, and he drew Lolis, and he advocated for people enjoying Loli content. Now, I apologize if it wasn't him, but I'm like 98% sure it was him. And other people agree with that. They're like, yeah, and other people agree with that. They're like, yeah, I like Lolis, it's not CSAM, it's 69-year-old dragon, it's a 1,000,000-year-old dragon, reincarnate of da-da-da-da-da. It's like, no, it's a little fucking girl dressed in baby doll fucking clothes, getting her brains fucked in art and whatnot. Like, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And you have people... What the fuck, bro? Sorry. I'm driving. You have people who will draw these things and use the excuse, oh no, what? It's a 66,000-year-old dragon who's reincarnated from this and that. Nobody gives a fuck. You're weird. I'm sorry. And and anybody who enjoys that shit needs their hard drives looked through with a fine-tooth comb. Because there is a correlation, right? There's like a theory of addiction, right? You smoke a cigarette, you feel good. The first cigarette you smoke. You keep smoking that one cigarette. After a while, one isn't enough. You need 2 cigarettes. You need 3 cigarettes. You need 4. You need 5. Pretty soon, you're a fucking chain smoker. And you're needing 10 packs of cigarettes a day. It's debilitating. You're running out of money. You know, it's bad thing after bad thing after bad thing. But you got to have your fucking cigarettes. It's, hey, I don't feel comfortable dating you anymore because you smoke a lot of cigarettes. You need to stop smoking or else we can't be together. And the person still can't stop smoking the cigarettes, right? It's the theory of addiction, right? It's the same shit with porn. People watch porn and they watch it over and over and over. One video stops becoming enough. Then you need 2. Then vanilla's not enough. Then you need bondage and shit. Like, there's an actual theory to how this shit works, and it escalates. It has to have the same effect. It has to have the same effect. It's the theory of addiction. And people with these addictive personalities, right? If they engage with this lowly art or whatever, pretty soon the art isn't enough. The show to art, pretty soon the art isn't enough. And they need, okay, well now I need real photos, right? Okay, I need humans. I need AI generated celebrity as a child, right? Like, now I need AI generated. Okay, and then it goes from AI generated to maybe an in-person AI robot or something. Like, let's say 10 years, 15 years in the future, an AI generated child robot. Then it goes from there to an actual child. And in the meantime, we don't have an AI fucking child robot. All we have are real children. And this disgusts me to say, but children are so angelic and like God sent and innocent that they are very, very vulnerable and susceptible to this kind of shit, especially from powerful YouTubers. Especially from, like, people with power. Like we saw with the Kris Tyson guy, he didn't even consider what happened to him as inappropriate. He was like, what? No, like, you know, Abel was my buddy. We were just chatting. Like, shit was just straightforward. Didn't even, like, process the fact that it was not okay. So I think it's time that we just, for real, like, had a genuine conversation about the fact that this shit in anime, like Shota, Loli, Beast type shit. Like, I was on Tumblr back in the day. I've seen that Bara shit. That shit's just, like, I'm so sorry. It's disgusting. Like, I'm so sorry. Loli, Shota, Bara, it's disgusting. It's sick. And people with those addictive personalities, the hit that you're used to doesn't become enough. And, you know, I've never talked about this before, but, you know, I had like a fanfic addiction. We'll just fucking call it what it is. When I was 10, 11, I was reading fanfics. Or I was reading Harry Potter fanfic. I was on the internet reading fanfics. Okay? It was awful. And, like, I have an addictive personality, right? So I would read one, and it would be, ooh, cool, yay, nice, whatever. And then it got to the point where one wasn't enough. I needed to read 2. And not only did I need to read 2, but the little kiss wasn't enough, right? Then I started to need smut. Like, I need smut. I need, like, Hermione and Harry, like, going at it now. Like, I need more. Like, and I feel like that's how it is. Level 1 stops becoming enough to feed these people. And okay, by the way, I'm not equating, like, reading fanfics or smoking cigarettes to being enjoyers of CSA. I'm not equating that. They're very fucking different, right? Having an addictive personality does not mean that you're automatically going to be a PDF file, right? Having addictive personality and being a PDF file is where you get these serial, like, offenders, abusers, and whatnot, right? Like, there was an episode of To Catch a Predator where a guy was caught twice in one, like, video. In 1 week, he was caught twice. He couldn't give that shit up. Anybody on the planet would be stirred up from the first, like, being caught, right? They would stop, right? But that's just what I mean by these people have, like, addictive personalities where logic and reasoning goes out of the door. Like, these people know that they're risking their family, their wife, their own kids, jail time, their freedom, right? And they can't Stop. And I feel like I kind of got off of track of what I was talking about for a second, so let me just veer it back. There is no way that loli, shota, and whatnot content is good for you. The art, the videos, the hentai, none of that shit is good for you. At the end of the day, all of it leads back into a degenerate escalation cycle. That's a hill I will die on. I'm so sorry. That's a hill I will die on. I'm not saying if you engaged with the shota or loli content once, like, you're gross or disgusting or whatever. Come on now. Like, being an anime enjoyer for this long, all of us have seen it, like, at least once, right? We've all saw it at least once. Like, I watched Boku no Pico. I watched that shit in shock. And I felt absolutely disgusting after it was shocking. I couldn't even finish this shit. It was awful. It was awful. Disgusting. And you have these people with addictive personalities who will see something like Boku no Pico and get inspired to have a relationship like that in real life. So no, I do not think it's a coincidence that Kris Tyson was a fan of CSAM art. Who knows how far the rabbit hole goes there, right? Like, turn in her PC. Like, you would never know. You would never know. But it's just, being at work all day, there's a client that I have to talk to about these things, and it's absolutely awful. And it's a really, really hard thing to do, to talk to pedophiles. It's so hard for me because I fucking hate them. I really do. And so at the end of the day, when it comes down to, like, engaging with and enjoying content where it's a 58,000-year-old dragon thing that looks like a little girl in a baby doll dress or whatever, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And I'm so sorry, you can't defend it. You cannot defend it. I mean, if you're like an expert at compartmentalizing, if you're an expert at that, and you could, like, I guess, watch this shit in a vacuum and it not permeate into real life or whatever, good for you. You're an anomaly, right? Like, you're an interesting individual. But at the end of the day, I find it very odd. By the way, I'm 25. I could not imagine myself at this big age watching something like Boku no Pico. Today, at this day and age, I don't think I can make it past the first 2 minutes of that. The thought just makes me, like, scrunch my whole nose. It's so disgusting to me. I can't even fathom watching something like that. Because that guy, he's an adult. Just like me, right? Like, I can't watch that shit. I can't engage with that shit. It's disgusting. I have a little brother and sister. I have a nephew, young, that look, I mean, not literally, but they look like those characters. And to be able to watch that 9 times out of 10, to be able to watch that stuff and engage with that stuff, you have to be some kind of weirdo. You have to be on the spectrum of weirdo, and not in a good way, right? And again, let me just reiterate, I was not comparing smokers to PDFiles, right? I was not comparing that. I was comparing the fact that addictive personalities can lead people to do things against their own best interest, even further than logic would expand, right? Like, the same goes with, people with addictive personalities who are also PDFiles, who engage with, let's just call it what it is, loli and shota content, is CSAM, right? And I'm talking hentais. I don't know about the other genres. I don't know if there's some, like, fucking, what do you call it? Like, I don't even know if it's possible to have some shoujos with little kids or whatever, but cool. I mean, I couldn't watch the shit, but if that exists, then whatever. Who cares? What I'm talking about is the fact that it does not surprise me that somebody who purchased and made light of CSAM art would engage with a real life adolescent in an inappropriate manner. That is where I think this video ends. It's sick.